everyone, I'm Miss Karen at Adams Memorial Library. Thank you for joining me for another book report. The books I have to talk with you about this week are all about birds because I really love birds and I love books about birds because I always want to learn more about them, about birds. I'd like to be able to identify them better, and a lot of these books that I have today are going to help with that, in case you would also like to identify them and learn more about birds. But they also really have wonderful pictures and wonderful stories, and so these ones are my favorites. And if you have favorite books about birds, I would love to hear about them too. So you can tell me, and then we can talk about bird books together. But here are the ones I have to share with you this week. The Lion and the Little Red Bird, written and illustrated by Elisa Kleven. Hummingbird, written by Nicola Davies and illustrated by Jane Ray. How to Find a Bird. This one was written by Jennifer Ward and illustrated by Diana Sudyka. Birdhouse, written and illustrated by Blanca Gómez. And Egg. You know, birds have to start somewhere. They start with the egg. Egg was written and illustrated by Henkes. And finally, oh, it's an oldie but a goodie, Are You My Mother? Written and illustrated by P.D. Eastman. So the first story, The Lion and the Little Red Bird, is, like you'd think, a story about a lion and a little red bird. But it's also about more, I think. It's about color and beauty in the world and friendship and all kinds of wonderful things. So it starts with a bird seeing a lion with a green tail. And she thinks, wow, that's different. And so she says to the lion, Lion, why is your tail green? But the lion doesn't speak bird, so doesn't understand what she's saying, but likes listening to the bird sing. So they spend the day together in a field of orange flowers. And that night, the lion goes back into his cave, and the bird decides to make a nest on the tree outside. So the next day, the bird is waiting to see the lion, but the lion comes out and his tail is not green anymore. Now it's orange. Well, the bird thinks this is a mystery, and she can't rest until she finds out, why does this lion have a tail that keeps changing colors? So if you'd like to find out, please come to the library and check out The Lion and the Little Red Bird. This one, Hummingbird, I really just think it's so beautiful. Nicola Davies, the author, is a zoologist, so she knows all kinds of things about animals. And when I read her books, then I learn about them too. In this case, she's talking specifically about hummingbirds. Hummingbirds spend the winter in Central America where it's warm, and then in the summer they come up to the United States where we can see them. This story starts out with a girl and a granny in the granny's garden down in Central America, and there are so many hummingbirds visiting the garden. They come right up to them. And there's so many beautiful flowers. The hummingbirds have lots of places to get nectar. But the granny says they're going to start traveling north like you. You're going to be flying north. You're going to be flying home to New York City, and the birds are going to start flying too. So as the girl, it's very hard to see, but there's the airplane up here. She's traveling home to New York City on that airplane, and here's one of the hummingbirds that's beginning its journey. The girl wonders, how can the birds possibly, those tiny little hummingbirds, fly so far? Well, this one's getting a little bit of help by traveling on a boat, but otherwise, those tiny little birds are just going to keep flying and flying and flying. And there's some more information about hummingbirds here, like how tiny their eggs are, how tiny their nests are, and how they can fly so far. So I love hummingbirds. If you like them too, this is a great book for you to check out. This book does talk about hummingbirds, but lots of other birds too, and how to find them. Maybe you're looking for hummingbirds, maybe you're looking for owls. A good way to get started would be to have some binoculars. Makes it easier to find the birds. You can look for birds by water. You can look for birds at night. You can look up in the sky to find birds. You can look down near the ground to find birds. It's a great thing about birds. They're everywhere. This book has lots of ideas of how to find birds, and it's got lots of names of different birds too. So this is a good one for bird identification. And it's got beautiful pictures, I think. So that's why I like this one. But it also has lots of information about how we can all be bird watchers and citizen scientists, study the birds, and so everybody can learn more about them, and we can help. In Birdhouse, this little girl and her abuela, they don't really have to go look for birds because a bird finds them. It's winter in the city where they live. And in the snow, they see a little bird and it looks like it has a broken leg. So abuela says, we can help this bird. They take it home when abuela bandages the bird's leg. And then, bird's got a little cast on it, on its leg. But as the bird starts getting better, it starts flying around. So, oh my goodness, are they going to be able to keep this bird? Well, that's the question. Let's see what happens in this book with the little yellow bird and the girl and her abuela. I really like the pictures in this book too. And I also like stories about grandparents and grandchildren and birds. So I like this book for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons that I like this book is it's kind of funny. I think it is anyway. But it says it's got 4 eggs and one big surprise. So there's a pink egg and a yellow egg and a blue egg and a green egg. So what do you think happens? They start to crack. Crack, they crack, they crack, and the green egg's still waiting. And then surprise, birds are coming out of the eggs. The green one's still waiting. And some eggs take longer to hatch, so the egg might be waiting a long, 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 long time. So if you're reading this book, you might be waiting a long time. All the rest of this book, you've got to wait to see what comes out of the egg. They crack. They crack. They crack. This one? I don't know. It's a question. It might be a big surprise. You can check out Egg by Kevin Henkes yourself to find out what the surprise is. Now this last book, Are You My Mother? This was my favorite book when I was little, and I still love it now too. Because if you don't know this story, this is about a mother bird who laid an egg, and she feels the egg start to move. Like in this one, it's going to be ready for a baby to come, but she thinks my baby will be hungry. I better find something for my baby to eat. So she goes to look for worms, because that would be a good thing for the baby to eat. But just as she's flying away, the egg cracks and it hatches, and out came the baby bird. But then the baby bird says, well, where's my mother? I'd better go look for her. So he does. He looks everywhere, and he asks everybody, are you my mother? Are you my mother? How's he going to find her? He hasn't seen her yet. He has to keep looking. But one of the reasons that this is one of my favorite books, and it was my favorite book when I was little, because it has my favorite line in probably any book ever. So here's a spoiler. There's 2 lines. At one point, the baby bird says, "Oh, you are not my mother. You are a snort." A snort? What could he possibly meet that's a snort? Oh, you might have to check this book out and find out for yourself. So friends, thank you very much for listening to me talk about all these books with you. And really, if you have favorite bird books, please tell me about them. You can come in and tell me. You can email at kids@adamslib.org, and we can talk about books that way. But until next time, I hope you enjoy bird books or whatever else fun things you're reading this week. And I will see you next time, friends. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.